Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
Before we get into the rundown, we do have a special guest coming on, a last moment guest, Harry Campbell, the founder of the Rideshare Guy. What's going on, Harry? How you doing?
All right. Is this working? Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, you are. I hear you.
Awesome. Appreciate you having me on my own show. And I'm surprised you guys haven't killed each other yet.
No, we're good.
Because we got 2,000 miles between us.
Minimum.
How often do you guys call each other?
Probably a couple times a week, and then
text a lot
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad Sergio has an outlet, Chris, for all of his venting, diarying, whatever it is he needs. So exciting stuff, though. Thanks for having me on. Congrats on 200 shows, and awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Harry. Thank you for the platform to start with. And then,
you don't sound very excited, Sergio.
No, I am. I mean, well, Chris knows what's going on in the behind the scenes, but I without the platform, we wouldn't be able to do it. And we started it as like two deer in headlights. Honestly, I remember the first show, and now look where we are, 200 weeks later. We're here, and but you also, most people probably don't know you, but without the community, we couldn't have done it, and without your help, we couldn't have done it. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely exciting stuff.
Oh, here, Harry, I'm running out of Japanese apple juice.
What do you got there? I mean, it's like 3 o'clock.
Hey man,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I said that just 200 episode, I'll have Japanese apple juice.
Yeah. Actually, I'm already getting feedback about this episode. Sergio's title says Sergio Avedian. Chris is just Chris, like no last name. What's up with that? I need a last name, Chris.
I guess so. I know. I've always just put Chris.
Who's this Julio guy in the chat asking Harry, why no strippers? Is that what we do on this show?
We thought about it a couple times.
I mean, maybe off the screen.
I thought about putting a pole behind me.
I feel like that might be an inside joke, but
anything for
I'm
views,
aware.
Man.
Yeah.
So, Harry, Herbivore is coming up. You want to talk a little bit about that? What's going on there?
Yeah, we got a little conference in downtown LA that's going to bring together, a lot more folks on the industry side. I liked Pedro's conference that he was doing a couple of years ago where he brought together a bunch of gig workers. I think he did one in St. Louis. Did you guys ever go to that one?
No, but I went to the one in Colorado, though. There was one in Colorado.
That's right. Yeah, you went to the one in Colorado. Yeah. So, yeah, working on that. And, obviously still helping run the Rideshare Guy, but let you guys do your thing when it comes to content. So what are you guys going to talk about today?
We got a lot.
Yeah, we got, let's see, we got the rapid fire. We're doing Uber's partnering with AVs all over the globe. Uber tech implosion Uber is testing the hybrid network. Then we got the driver focused more. Did Dara get a pay cut? Uber CEO personally meets drivers in Brazil. So-called Uber bug expanding now. Uber trying to stop drivers from taking screenshots in the app. Hidden pay cut with high gasoline prices. Uber faces class action lawsuit. Move trash cans to make some real money. Especially,
I like that one.
What's going on in Miami?
Yeah, you like that? You know what? Did you see the screenshots? I like that one a lot.
I know. That's why I was That's why I was telling you, actually, so for those who didn't watch that segment, right, Cameron Lamb from Crew, I know you guys had him on, and he
Yeah.
posted a couple of screenshots, and obviously there's no shortage of these gig economy apps, and I think he does a good job too. Like, he kind of jokes about it, like you basically get paid to take trash cans in, and that is sort of the job. But
Yeah.
when you start thinking about it, like, it actually is pretty good. If you can get a bunch of houses in the same area and they're Airbnb owners and they don't live there, and the cities will find them or require them to take them in, you can actually start making pretty good money, pretty good margins. So yeah, I've been working with them to kind of help get the word out. So I think there's some cool apps. Obviously at the start, I'm sure they'll be paying a lot more. I don't think you'll get paid $50 an hour to take trash cans in forever. But I think that kind of is like how I started the channel 11 years ago. I was like, oh, you get paid to drive people around, and started doing that. It's like, kind of sounds stupid, right? You get paid to take people's trash cans in, but what's the downside, right? Try it out, check it out, and see how legit they are, and who's talking about them, and take it from there.
Well, the screenshots that were sent to me were from Florida. They're like coming to about $90 an hour, honestly.
I was like, that almost is too much money, right?
I'm like, yeah,
hey,
up, man. And then the
strike
other
while
thing,
the iron's hot.
yeah, but I mean, it's crazy money. I mean, for what you're doing, really, you just put your gloves on and do it. And then the other one we really liked a lot a couple of weeks ago, we had Safeguard Properties on, and that's another. We're all about have as many apps as possible, because once you could get deactivated tomorrow, and then what are you going to do, right? So
yeah, I feel like we've been featuring, you guys have been talking about a lot of cool, obviously everyone knows Uber and Lyft and the good and the bad about that, and the delivery apps, DoorDash, Instacart, even Amazon Flex and Walmart Spark, right? I think there's a lot of content out there about that, but I think there are a lot of these adjacent earning opportunities of either gig economy or help build your own book, or whatever it might be. And maybe the trash can one isn't for you, or maybe it's not in your market yet, but like there's got to be some other one that is, right? And so kind of just keeping an eye out for these things. So I think you guys have been doing a good job covering a lot of these, I don't know, what do you call them, like adjacent or adjacent gig economy opportinities.
There you go.
I would just say, I don't know, side gigs.
Yeah,
side gigs.
That's Jeff from Florida. 9 stop cruise trip for $54. I don't think that would take more than an hour.
Nice. I was going to say, you got to put some of these other you got to put some of these other comments on the screen, Chris. I see another Jeff in the comments, Jeff Smith 4577. He says, same shit, different week. I don't know if he's talking about Crew, but I guess you're not really taking out shit. You're taking out trash. But
I mean, hey, we both got babies, so that means that
I guess that's where like
he might
be talking more about like the job is bad, shitty, but I'm thinking like, oh, trash, shitty. But
cash for trash, maybe. But
I saw a comment about Dara too. Are you guys still friends with Dara, or what's?
Yeah, we're very close friends with Dara. And
what's his deal? Does he watch the show?
He does, yeah. And
does he?
I have internal communications that there's a group at Uber that watches every show, but then now they automated it. They have an AI agent signed up so they can take screenshots and see what we're talking about is factual.
So now they don't actually watch the show. They just have AI watch the show and summarize it and send it to people.
Maybe an intern is watching the show. I don't know.
I see Life of Richard says, now that Harry is on the show, will Dara come on now? I don't know. I think Dara actually doesn't I don't think anyone at Uber really likes me these days. I haven't interviewed anyone from Uber over the past few years, and
I'm still working on it. I haven't given up.
We still highlight that episode that you did with Dara, talking about upfront fares and why
it's a while ago.
Acceptance rate is and why the acceptance rate is still so low.
I think he had a good quote on that show when I interviewed him. He said something to the effect, right, that when you present the offer to drivers, if they're not accepting the job, it means that we're not paying them enough or something like that, right? And I think
exactly.
They still haven't quite fixed that one, have they?
No, we still nail him with it every single time we get a chance. So but.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to come on anymore.
No, maybe Sachin will come on. Sachin's a good guy.
Yeah. Sachin always at least replies to my emails, so he's a good guy. Definitely working hard at Uber and on a lot of things. And I mean, I do feel like though for drivers, I mean, I do think like Uber, even though drivers, human rideshare is like 99% of their business. Like I think media, investors, all of those types of industry people really mainly care about autonomous vehicles. So honestly, I think that's why Dara and others, aren't like coming on our show or, doing as many interviews or talking about drivers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. They have definitely pivoted to doing nothing but autonomous vehicles. I don't know how many partnerships they have signed up around the globe so far. I mean, it looks like into the hundreds now.
Yeah.
And there's the shift. And, while you're here, we should talk a couple of minutes about that. There you go. Look at all these partnerships, Harry. Look at this. I took this from LinkedIn, and look at the right side. Look at those bubbles over there. Right?
Yeah, I can't even see it. It's too many.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
So you're doing something called Driverless Digest, which I actually like, and I wrote a couple of articles about it, on it or for it. What do you say to our audience?
We got to get you writing a couple more. I think they've actually been pretty popular.
I will.
You're a good writer.
Tell me about what you think, how long it's going to take for AVs to replace our audience.
I think it's going to be a while. I mean, I think right now, maybe in some of the bigger cities, it might be like San Francisco, might be 5%, 10%. Like you kind of have to look at, Uber might share numbers or Waymo might share numbers. Oh, it's 20%. But it's like they don't do airport rides. They don't go here. They don't go there. So when you look at the total market, I think it's actually still pretty low. Like I always tell people, Waymo's doing 400,000 or 500,000 trips a week. In New York City alone, there are 700,000 Uber and Lyft trips a day. And that's one city, right? Yeah. So there's still tiny fraction. And, so I still think it will definitely change the market. You guys have talked and written about the Gridwise report on drivers' earnings, might be down 1 to 5% in the AV markets. So, it's definitely down. But I mean, there's always something driving prices down, unfortunately, right? That's what the whole goal of the Rideshare Guy and the channel and the show is about, is like, hey, there's always going to be things kind of working against you. But we do know there's a lot of variability, right? If you know what you're doing, you should be making $5 an hour more than the average driver. Like the average driver is not really thinking about cherry picking and the best types of trips and looking at alternative apps and all of that. So even though it might be, overall trend is slightly negative in those AV markets, I still think that because of all that variability, you have a lot of opportunity if it's a good fit.
Yeah, there's for sure money to be made because, I have my Ironman in Massachusetts and Boston. Yeah. My man Raphael, he sends me screenshots every week. 3K to 3,200 solid every single week. He's still pumping it. And
I think he's working hard though, right? He's doing a lot of
hours.
He's
very working hard. Yeah, 75 hours. Or so.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
But
and I see a good comment here from Keith. I mean, maybe good, but he says, when I started 4 years ago, Uber paid enough. I had 98% acceptance rate. Now pay sucks so much. I'm down to 48% acceptance rate. I actually feel like that's a good thing, right? It's like you're being more selective, right? If you're taking every trip that Uber is sending you, right? If they send, obviously, like we kind of know that they're Uber or really any company in general. Like I wouldn't say that the goal is to pay as little as possible, like broadly for most companies, but like, with Uber, right? If they have 100 drivers that want to do, and only 50 trips, obviously they're going to try to pay them less and less and less. Right. So I think, I don't think that's a great thing, but that's like, I think it's pretty logical of why they're doing it.
Yeah. And with the gas prices taking a huge jump over the last 2-3 weeks.
Gas is expensive.
I actually did email Uber in my contacts at Uber and Lyft. Lyft came back and said, we're looking at it. And Uber never responded, saying like, last time you guys had a 55-cent fuel surcharge. Is anything like that possible? Because that's the biggest part of the driver's variable cost, right? I mean, $1.25 a gallon in about 3 weeks. Yeah. And so we'll see. Hopefully, maybe we'll get something going there.
I did see that DoorDash came out with a little dasher or gas surcharge and looked pretty decent from what I saw too.
$15 if you do 120 miles, I think, active. And also, InDrive is doing it around the globe. A lot of companies like Bolt is doing it, but Uber, no. Lyft, nothing.
And I mean, also too, when you think about delivery, right? You know that most deliveries are much shorter. Like the average delivery trip is a lot shorter than rideshare, right? So if you're in a car where you don't get great gas mileage, or you don't have an EV, or whatever it might be, or even you can't get cheap gas, right? Like, hey, that switching to delivery. Maybe now's the time. You've been thinking about exploring or trying a new delivery option. Maybe now is the time, right?
Yep.
So I'd sort of say, there's obviously, you guys have talked about the Upside app, getting gas. Obviously there's like getting gas at Costco, which I feel like I don't know, I've never been the biggest fan of that because you got to wait in line for so long, especially right minutes. Now. Yeah, 20 minutes. You go do a job and say, make $5 or $10.
No, I've been using my Upside app regularly now. Last 5-6 weeks. I mean, 15 cents, 18 cents, whatever it is. It's 2%, 3% plus. Use a card. Well, it's in my article. We're going to talk about my article I came out yesterday.
Nice.
And there's ways you can save money. So
MJ Smith Group says, yep, delivery puts way fewer miles on your car compared to rideshare. And I mean, if you really want to save on gas, go get a bike or an e-bike, right? We've talked about some good e-bikes in the past. Get a little exercise. I know Jay, you just had him on, and we congratulate him for a great run at the Rideshare Guy and whatever it is he's working on next. But he talks obviously a lot about like mental and physical health, right? So hey, maybe now's the time to get a little biking in, right, on those delivery trips.
Yeah,
especially and summer's coming in.
So what else is going on, Harry? What else are you doing? How many kids you got now? 4? 3?
3 boys. So that's
3 boys.
Probably my main job, to be honest.
Your main job's okay.
I think I just saw a text come in, something about my kid had an accident or an injury or something like that. So I'll look at
that's going to happen when they're like 16.
It didn't seem life-threatening, though, so I didn't read the whole thing yet. But I'll look at that after we're done here.
Okay.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.